earlier today.
Yeah, you're talking about when I was doing cold calls earlier to property owners that are looking to get their properties rented. So in that call, property owners are just trying to get their properties rented and not trying to spend so much money on getting that service done. Understandably so, but at the same time, they may or may not know about like pitfalls or landmines that are in place that are looking to do some critical damage on their finance, right? And so when I was speaking with this individual that was looking to get the property rented, they were mentioning they were overtelling their situation, which is fine because I was able to help them out in this situation, but they were overtelling and saying that they wanted to do repairs on a stove that wasn't working and that their husband was potentially going to say no to that because they wanted to be conservative. But in the event that something like an AB 628 comes into play, they would be, without protection because they didn't have a working stove in place. And these are some of the things that you want to avoid when you're, getting your property rented, because you want as least liability as possible. It's just a numbers game, and the more you know, the more you can hedge against. Mm-hmm. And so if you are just working in your own world, in your own mind, outside of the real estate professional world, you're probably not coming equipped with what's new into the business. You're probably not knowing what the new trends are or how you can better leverage yourself or defend against potential hazardous business practices.
Yeah.
Some people, and for example, some people still use the, buyer to pay 3 times the rent. They do first month's rent deposit and last month's rent, where you might not know. In California, that's a big no-no, but there are still practices like that.
There is, and there was somebody on our YouTube video the other day, actually, that I've been meaning to bring up, is they said that you can still do that, and it's clear that they don't know.
They're not familiar.
They can't. Yeah, exactly. So let's actually roll right into one of the people that we had before over on Camino Verde. That's Carol's property in Walnut Creek. If you can speak to how that journey went with actually even meeting lovely Carol, because I got the chance to meet her as well. She's a lovely lady. How did you first meet her? What did that take us through the journey from meeting her all the way to what happened?
Yeah, so a lot of the ways that people make business in real estate, people feel like they're all old-fashioned and out of style. But the reality is that if you're not doing it, somebody else is, and that business is still being conducted in the old-fashioned, nitty-gritty way and in a new social media era. So there's plenty of ways to, skin this beast of a market. Mm-hmm. So what I do, or what we do rather, is we do cold calls. We call everybody that is potentially looking to get their properties rented. And for the most part, these are folks that are looking to save money for sure. But at the same time, they're not hip to all of the laws, like the last example where they were just not caught up to speed. And it's not their responsibility per se, because it's legal and not everybody's looking to be legal savvy when it comes to this stuff. So with Carol, we reached out to her doing a cold call, and she liked what we were presenting as a value offer, allowing her to be hands off, take her hands off these responsibilities so that she can focus on other things like her health or like her relationships.
On that, speak to how long it might have taken. You probably don't have the numbers right in front of you, but just what do you remember how long it taken from that first conversation to her actually signing a lease agreement to move forward?
Yeah, I think the turnover was something like 5 days, because once you get an opportunity to present yourself, people make decisions rather quickly because they either trust what you're saying or they don't, which is the best part of this. You want to be able to be authentic and presenting yourself and presenting the facts, and then let them just be able to decide on whether they want to move forward or not. If they feel pressured, you're doing a bad job. If you're not being in front of them enough, you're not doing as much of a job. So there's kind of like a thin line between pressure and being lackadaisical with the information.
Yeah, and to speak to that, and plus what you said before, as not being as well informed with the law, the boring stuff, right? Was that affecting this person in any way, not knowing the total of the law in regards to her properties? Was it an overwhelming feeling that she was having, or what was her reason for wanting to go with our services?
What I've come to find when it comes to landlords looking to get services rendered is there is still a steep disconnect between folks that believe that they should or should not be paying for a service, landlords particularly in this conversation. So landlords, most of them are of the mind that they don't want to pay for a realtor to do that service. Rather, they want the tenant to pay because they're used to that reality. The tenant pays for the first month, the deposit, and perhaps the representation.
Yeah.
But as you know, as I just mentioned, there's a law in place that says you can't pay 3 times the rent, and that's a part of that expense.
Now, was this a lesson that we had to learn, or was there any problems with the law that you're saying and how a representation happened at that time?
Can you rephrase that?
Yeah, like you just pointed out that you can't command a certain price from the person moving in just because it's a part of the way you do business, aka how we were charging people initially.
Yeah.
Was there any learning curve that we went through that allowed us to do that business differently? And would you have done business any differently knowing what you know now?
Well, for the most part,
just be very transparent, very vulnerable in this, because nobody's pretending to be perfect here. Yeah,
for the most part, there's always a learning curve. There's always a space of growth in adventures or business practices. For us, it is imperative that we continue to grow in this space. I've been in this business for a long time. I joke around about it. I had a conversation with somebody today, and I said, hey, I'm a pup in this. I've been in this business for 12 years. They said, a pup? And, I'm humble when it comes to a lot of the things that I do in my, experiences, especially in business. I want to be very delicate with it. Mm-hmm. So with real estate in rental, I want to make sure that people know that we do as much as we can with the information that we do know. So that way they're protected. Property management, that's something that is important for, people to have. That's why it's an expense with, doing multifamily. But for doing a single family or a condo or a townhome, it's a lot different. You may not need property management. You only have one door. So for us, when we're looking at tenants potentially paying that expense, or for a property owner, a landlord rather, is, paying that expense, we were looking for the sweet spot, because sometimes a landlord would not want to pay that expense. So we're looking at how can we, best represent them, also get the tenant in there that is qualified and a good fit. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we would suggest doing first month's rent, and then we would take the deposit. Or some sellers would say, I keep saying sellers, but some landlords would say they wouldn't want to do that for the deposit, understandably so. Then the other option would just be, foot the bill. And that is something that a lot of people have to juggle and decide whether or not this is an expense worth having. But then once you learn the value add that you get from having a realtor that's in the space, that is learning the new laws, that are incorporating it into the business practice and protecting clients, not just the clients, but themselves as well. Not just themselves, but the people, the tenants as well, is you find that you're doing more value add than subtracting. So it's extremely important for a landlord to consider what that value add actually costs, for me, I justify it by saying, consider it an insurance policy.
So specifically, though, what happened in that moment that we were doing that we had to pivot that you had mentioned because we were still growing in that?
Well, yeah, I mean,
space.
we want to make sure that we represent folks the right way. And at the same time, we know that as property owners ourselves, we want to make sure that the deposit is secured as well.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we protect the landlord, as well as being transparent about the situation and not like dancing around the fact? We just tell the people straightforward. When I'm on the phone with people and I call them, I say, hey, look, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm a realtor and you're probably not looking to pay this expense. I don't want to waste your time and I would hate for you to waste mine. Would you like to let me know, is this even something that you even want to do, even if it was beneficial? Even if this protected you from thousands of dollars of litigation? And that's for them to decide.
And so it sounds like there's different buckets of landlords in their journey, whether they're just starting out or they've been doing this for a while, but just maybe hit a bump in the road somewhere. And so in certain situations, I think you're kind of calling this out too, is that some people, where they're at right now with a certain property, they cannot afford to really fit the bill for our services 100% up front, and some people can. And for those that cannot, we tend to just help them out like you did on that call, with helping them avoid tens of thousands of dollars in mistakes for free because you just wanted to help them out. And all of this is not just completely altruistic. It is in hope that one day they remember that the person that helped them out
truly cares about the
maybe
whole
knows
thing.
a little bit more than just that one factoid, and also truly cares about helping them out. And so that person will work their way as soon as we help them get from not able to afford the service to being able to afford the service, because the next jump is for us to help them there and then go, oh, these guys know what they're talking about and they've helped me out through step 1 and level 2. So level 3 is for me to buy some more properties and or sell and get out. And so they can help us as well. Just transparently, that's where we're at. Right. And so with that person, with the people that couldn't afford before, we had to do a little bit of experimentation with trying to ask for funds in different ways from the tenant, but then found out that that is not an actual viable thing. And so we had to go the route of saying, oh, this is not the way we can actually do business. So we're going to just have to stand by our word, help those people out, or help that landlord specifically out, even though we can no longer collect payments. So essentially, it's like we were working for free. Luckily, we did such a good job that she ended up paying us anyways in fronting the bill, as you were saying, because the value was there where she did not see that before.
We actually made a live pivot in that relationship where we started off suggesting the deposit fashion where we were just going to collect that deposit. But having that conversation and like how it matured, realizing, hey, we're just going to have to be frank about the situation. We're going to have to be honest and take the responsibility on the chin, because we know that we're giving more value than this actual expense is worth. We're saving you so much on the back end where you probably didn't know. Like her specifically, a wonderful soul, great person, but with the expectations of getting the 3 times the rent, that's a liability. Though that tenant may not know that because they're not legally savvy, I would imagine, but if they were, liability.
Off the bat, yeah.
And just because somebody doesn't raise that flag doesn't mean that it's not able to be raised.
Right. And so speaking of raising flags and talking about affordability or being able to afford the services, usually that comes about by getting into trouble with not having underwritten property correctly. There's somebody that asked for our services and we did a deal with him as well. Didn't end up, well, I'll let you tell the story of this person, but in Walnut Creek, there was somebody who asked us to do underwriting on the back end because they didn't know we did that at first, but you had brought it up. Do you know who I'm talking about specifically?
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So
can you walk us through that journey from how did you find them? What was their situation and how did you fix it and or help?
Most of the people that we come across have come by way of cold call. And so, again, when people tell you that cold calling is something that is just not happening, it's far from the truth. With this individual, they're looking to get their property rented, and they were looking for a value. This value was something that, when I ran my rent comps, was higher than I believe it should have been suggested. There were value adds done on the property. I give credit to the fact that this person did so much to this property, but the value that was in the actual units, the dwellings themselves, were not comparable to what was marketing in its, comps. So that leaves that person, the property owner, asking for more than what the marketplace is suggesting, leaving those units running vacant for months at a time. The relationship was transparent. We let them know that we believe that the rents were a little bit higher than what they should have been. And we ran a free consultation for their underwriting on the property.
Now, did they just come out and say, "Hey, look, this is what we make the expenses"?
No, that's never the case. We have to be honest with our clients, and that's a responsibility that comes with the territory. When you decide to be a realtor or a multifamily syndicator, or somebody that is a fiduciary to other people's finances, you have to be open and honest about it, because the last thing you want is those people wasting their money or wasting their time, or both. So for this relationship, we are their representation. We are the fiduciary. And so we have to be honest with them and say, "Hey, can I tell you something that you might not like to hear? The truth." And when I looked at the numbers, I ran this on my part because I felt something was off about this deal. And when I ran it, this is what I found. Would you like to see it? Would you like to hear about this? And so they are open to a second opinion, because they're obviously seeing something in real time in the market while this property is 30, 40, 50 days vacant.
Yeah.
So after running the numbers, you start to find first the motivation of the property owner. Why was this deal important? And you might hear something like, like the rent multiplier. These are terms that will float around, like cap rate, like initial rate of return, or these are just terms that come around in multifamily that may go over your head. However, if you ever want to see what that is, we have a course on school.com. I'm sorry. Yeah. School.com.
SKOOL. And it's underneath our Rental Lords tag. We'll put a link in the description for anybody to
take a look
over there.
So we did the underwriting for this client of ours, and to my understanding, when I underwrote it, the way I would underwrite any property that I personally would want to consider as a deal for my personal investors, I found that the numbers were just not favorable, and they decided the same because they're looking to sell it.
Yeah, but walk me through this, because why didn't they see this coming? Why wasn't this something that, there's calculators out there everywhere, right? So when they ran the numbers, what was the discrepancy between how they did it, how you did it? Was it time? Was it type of calculator? What was it?
Well, it just depends on what you know. The more you know, the more you're able to defend against things that you weren't familiar with.
But in this
situation, the person was doing their underwriting called back-of-the-napkin. Back-of-the-napkin, you can find that from like some Grant Cardone or some other, guru on the internet. So the internet is just interesting that way. They'll give you a lot of fluff information to make you go out and go buy investment properties, where in a market that is unknown territory, so that they perhaps can offload their assets. And I learned this term just recently. It's called, I don't know actually the name of the term, but it's basically selling your property to the next dummy.
Yeah, you told me about that.
And it's unfortunate, but there's a lot of people that bought in the COVID era between 2020 and 2023, and they are defaulting and are shuffling for more funds to add more collateral to these negative cash flowing deals.
Well, I feel bad because I sold to somebody like that. But well, look, we ain't gonna go there because that's personal anecdotal experience. But so in this specific example, when you were talking to this person, they were doing back-of-the-napkin, and it sounds like you know from personal experience about the whole Grant Cardone thing. And I know as well, because I was one of those people that paid for those courses, hoping to learn a whole bunch. Didn't learn anything from that specific course. Doesn't mean all courses are bad, because we took...
It doesn't mean that his course is bad. I mean, he's selling something that's valuable, and he's actually got numbers to back it up. But at the end of the day, what his motivations are is for you to give up on the experience of doing it yourself.
And go with him.
Him. Which is,
And
so back of the napkin is what you get. You get these 4 quadrants, and you got to ask yourself, is this a good deal? It's like, that's not all the metrics that go into whether or not a good deal is a good deal.
It's just directionally correct.
I mean, he's giving you an answer. Doesn't mean it's the answer.
Exactly. So with this one specifically, you sat down with him, you ran the numbers right in front of him, showed him how you got to where you got. What did he say after that, after you showed it to him?
Well, I mean, the truth is, people are going to decide whether or not a deal is a good deal for them or not. Whatever the reason is, he decided it wasn't a good deal for him. He's deciding to sell.
Was that right away? Hey, Rodrelle, I want to sell?
Would have been nice. I'd have sold it.
So he went with somebody else.
He went with somebody else, and that, I'm glad that I was able to put something in front of him that made him help see this opportunity of offsetting this asset in a way that is favorable or fruitful.
But, and there's no ill will either, because we just met up with this person.
Of course. No, value is value. Game is game.
2 weeks ago, and, showed him a whole new world.
We value our relationships such that we know that you're going to do deals. We know that there's opportunities that you can't pass up. Some people are in 1031s. There's no reason why you need to hold yourself hostage to a relationship when you know you have hundreds of thousands or if not millions of dollars on the line at stake.
Right. And so if you too want to go with us to an event here in Danville, we'll show you around and link you up with those people that are in the 1031 exchange, specifically that little pocket niche in this area, which we also helped to introduce him to as well. So go ahead and click the link in the bio for that chat, and we'll chat with you. If you say, hey, look, this is what we want to do, we just want to hang out, then we'll go ahead and do that. I don't think we're opposed to that.
No, of course not.
So that's gets us swung into the next person that we help serve. This person is in Concord, and this is one of the people that did a video for us that they'll see on school as well. Do you know who I'm referring to?
Yeah, I'm familiar with you.
So with this person specifically, I know you're saying that we typically meet people doing cold calling. Was there anything that jumped out at you with this person during that conversation specifically that you could speak to? Was there any, or did it kind of sound like the rest of these calls to where it was like, hey, look, I don't know if I'm completely interested in it or not. Call me back later, or let's talk. Or how did that conversation go specifically with this person?
Every conversation that I come into contact with is unique in and of itself. This individual, I'm appreciative for all the people that we work with or come in contact with that actually value the service and the value that we bring in the relationships that we, get to render from it. So for this person, they actually weren't expecting this call. They appreciated the honesty and upfront posture that we had. And they felt like it was a heaven sent. They felt like it was very opportunistic because they were just thinking about this as a consideration. And what ends up happening is we get them to work with us. We get their property listed in not even 2 weeks, and we get their property rented out. Mm-hmm. And for top dollar, no negotiating, no haggle, no issue. We got their property taken care of and served.
By the way, this is my mistake, but can you just kind of go back from the beginning to now and list out what was the sizes? You don't have to say specific sizes of the property, but was it a single family, multifamily?
No, this was
5 doors.
No, I don't remember how many doors, but it wasn't something small. I think it was like just around 12 doors.
Yeah, somewhere around there.
Yeah, maybe 15 or so. But
the previous person was about
the previous
more
person.
than that. was more than that.
Something like 40 doors.
Yes, for that one place.
Yeah, something like 40 doors, 1x1s. And then the one that we're talking about now is like a 15 unit, 2x2 or 2x1s.
And the initial
and
one.
The original one was something like 8 doors.
Yeah. And this
I
one
think
was
they were like, that one wasn't like a single family unit, but it was connected to condos where those were 2x1s, but the subject that we had was a 3x2.
Right. Okay, didn't mean to derail us on that, but I forgot that fact about those properties. So this one that we're talking about, that's around 15 doors over there in Concord. You said you had a conversation with this person, and it was like a heaven sent, like kind of, hey, we needed this. And so what happened after that? Was it immediately, let's talk, or did it take some time?
No, with all the clients that we serve, we typically are doing cold calls. No, I'm just being facetious. No, we do hundreds of calls in order to have these conversations with these very successful individuals that are looking to trade time for dollar, where they could spend their time doing other more valuable things. And so with this individual, it was just that they were a actively working individual near the end of retirement, still are near the end of retirement, but are looking to acquire more doors, looking to still focus on their primary business, and they're juggling a family. So it was just advantageous that we build that relationship and help them get their property served at high quality service. So it was just matchmaking, essentially. Yeah. And most of the relationships are.
With that one specifically, any other quirks that you can remember, or was that one just another one of these smooth transitions from call to service to tenant placed? Because that one was kind of like one of the quicker ones too, where it was just smooth as butter. And I think it's mostly because they had the budget to pay for the services and went with all of our recommendations, kind of just let us drive.
Yeah, so what I've come to find in this space, when it comes to property owners getting their properties rented out, the more recent you purchase the property, the more tight the budget becomes, and the least likely they are to work with another professional to get their properties serviced. I mean, I spoke with somebody today about that same scenario where they said that they could not afford to pay a realtor because they're already going to get their property rented, negative cash flowing. I posed to them. I said, hey, look, negative cash flowing. What are you doing? Why don't you just sell it?
Yeah.
They bought the crazy concept. Yeah. But unfortunately, they bought the property in COVID, meaning the prices are either matching or they're going to be netting negative. And so the actual conversation was, hey, man, I got to battle with, the lesser of the evils. Lesser of the evils was represent themselves and get a property rented for a negative cash flow.
Is there a benefit to selling at a negative, though, for some people? Or is it just all doom and gloom? And what happens if they wait longer?
Well, they have to ask themselves if they are able to maintain that scenario. Mm-hmm. Some people are able to maintain that scenario. If you're making, I would, me personally, I can't speak for everybody. I don't think it would matter if I was making $500 to $1 million annually. It's just a numbers business. If there's a property that's going to cost me X amount in negative cash flow annually, it's probably not going to change because the market value or the market demands a certain price tag out of this property. It's probably not going to change. If it's going to change, it's probably not going to change drastically. And if it does change, you're probably going to be concerned, or you're probably going to need to offset that property and get your cash flow out of there as soon as possible, i.e. COVID, when it was at the height and people are upset they didn't sell then. So,
I was smiling because I did exactly that. I did the right thing that somebody told me not to do.
Man, I mean, we was all in COVID together.
Yeah. We all learn, right?
Yeah, we went through COVID together. So, I mean, no one can predict the future. Every realtor's favorite slogan is, if I had a crystal ball. And this is one of those situations where if folks really had a crystal ball, I mean, people would have sold. I mean, there was a lot of value that just fell between now and the last 3 years.
So that is a perfect segue with us doing a little bit of talk about my single family property in this specific subject, because do we just service the multifamilies, or what's the deal with the Brentwood property?
The single family is not off the table. We serve everybody. Anyone that's looking to get their property service, we're looking to help you. The one thing that we would probably incorporate in the future of our business, where we don't have it today, is probably commercial, like office space or something like that.
Yeah.
So business opportunities and things like that. We're not opposed to it. We're just, the things that we're very, very, very comfortable with, like second language, is residential real estate, buy and sell, multifamily real estate, whether it's purchasing a property or syndication, meaning purchasing it, or helping somebody buy a multifamily without us, or are we helping them get an asset that's cash flowing because we underwrite it, and getting their properties leased. And the good thing about all of this is that they are all speaking the same language.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so with that language, like specifically though, let's go back to the speaking about the scenarios that have happened with the one in Brentwood, the single family there. We can already guess that you met them from cold calling.
Oh yeah, because we do that. No,
yeah,
I'm sorry.
Other people are afraid to do that.
No, we do that. We live and die by the call.
Exactly. But also we do social media at the same time. So if you're seeing this on another channel, go ahead and go to our YouTube channel or our Instagram or TikTok. Yeah. We'll include the links in the bio, that way, or in the description rather, so that you can possibly pick up some cool information, just like the one on your call. We directed them towards that, and so all of the information that they can learn, it will be right there. We just give away it all. We just give it all away.
We're doing value add opportunities by way of information. We have a done for you or done by you method, and it's free. So if you want to learn more, join our school community.
That too. So back to, because we just went on a tangent again a little bit there, but let's rub it back into that single family on Brentwood. Cold call them. What was their situation? What was the house condition like?
No, I mean, there are some properties that that are just beautiful. Would love to sell this opportunity because it's immaculate. It's in immaculate condition. This is one of those where you want to do great photos and things like that and do all the knickknacks. But the beautiful part about this relationship is that the property was already well taken care of, had amazing photos. We didn't have to do too much as far as preparing the property because it was vacant. It was completely empty, meaning there was not a piece of furniture laying around. And it was just a matter of putting a lockbox on the property and representing these clients really well. They liked us. They asked us all the qualifying questions. I think at the time, though, we only had served one person. So we told them straightforward that this is something that we're doing on the side, and that if this is something that they'd like to do and take their hands off the wheel and get the same kind of quality value that they would have done for themselves, or perhaps even better, that they can benefit from this. And that's what that just was. It was very fruitful for them because they were able to focus on other matters. They have other properties that they had to focus on. They actually were one of the few clients that we served that were once upon a time in multifamily having hundreds of doors. They just decided to offset assets and just focus on a few assets at a time. So yeah, it was just a great relationship. Again, another great timing kind of a relationship. And I'm grateful that we got to serve another client that truly valued the service that was given, considering what they were going through, right? And so I think that what our motivation is, especially with regards to multifamily, getting properties leased, or even single family, is we're looking to help people that have other things to do. The truth is that anybody can go and do multifamily leasing or even single family leasing. Roger himself was actually leasing his properties when he was taking care of his properties in SoCal. Pardon me, I had to.
No, you're good.
So yeah, you were taking care of your properties when you were in SoCal. So it's not a foreign concept, and most people try to take their hand at it because it's like a new adventure. It's exciting. It's thrilling. It's cool. I'm doing this. It's my run. It's my show. It's my business. I'm doing this. But you don't have to do that alone. Here, let me give you something. In multifamily real estate, we are not excited. We're not thrilled. We're not jumping up and down to say, I'm multifamily. I'm buying a multifamily and I'm running the show myself. It's not a badge of honor. It just shows you that you're doing too much. What we do actually is that we bake into the deal these expenses. We say, hey, I got 8%. I got 10% on property management because, why would I do that myself? I don't want to be in Walnut Creek and San Jose and San Francisco and Concord. Like, I can't be everywhere all the time at once. So we hire professionals to do the job. And if the deal doesn't make sense to hire a professional, then maybe the deal is bad and it's not you.
Yeah. So speaking of like that type of variety of optionality, well, actually, let me go to the current client that was just serviced. Somebody that we know pretty much.
Sure.
It's a little bit outside of our normal area.
Sure.
But because we know this person and they're near and dear to our inner circle, and he has properties and he needed it rented out because he's very busy with his own business, which is perfect because that is actually our
avatar.
Exactly.
So what I was mentioning a moment ago is that our motivation is serving people that are busy. And it's important because we want to make sure that we're not taking anything away from you that is going to cost. If we're taking dollars from you, meaning if you're paying for a service, we don't want to be the reason why you're struggling. And I don't think anyone wants to be in that pocket of like, oh, well, you paid me your last dollar. That's bizarro world. Yeah. That's crazy. I would hate for that for anybody. So for folks that have low margin, we're not really tallying to those folks. We're not looking for those individuals. We're looking for folks that are able, that are excited to take their hands off the wheel because they have the ability to and are looking for a high quality white glove representation so that way they can get their properties rented and not be held liable for things that they did or did not know. We have the information, we have the value, and we're in the space and we're learning all of the new laws that come into play and we're putting these things into action. There's no way around it. We're in the California Association of Realtors. We're part of the Bay East Association of Realtors. We're a part of all of these organizations so that we're always learned up on what's new in the business so that we can protect our clients. Shoot. I mean, I think everybody remembers like a year ago, 2 years ago, there was the transparency law that came into place for sellers' compensations. And it was regarding buyer agents working with buyers, saying that buyers, hey, you're not paying anything actually. It's 100% free, which is 100% a lie. That's not true. Somebody has to pay a buyer agent, and it's not coming from the buyer, it's coming from the seller. And so that transparency was such a big issue. It became a law 2 years ago. And transparency now, if you can't be transparent, you shouldn't be in the business. You have to be honest. You have to be upfront. You have to be diligent and be responsible, the fiduciary responsible party to your client.
Yeah, because that can being a liar can be beneficial in the short term, but
it always going to bite you. It's going to cost you, boy. I tell you.
Yeah, we ran into some folks, right, that pretty much don't agree with that. And, it's been a battle and their names are tarnished. So I definitely don't want to end up on that chopping block.
Yeah.
Now, with some of these people that we've serviced, these clients, do they tend to only get us for one go around, or is there some clients that?
Oh yeah, there are repeat clients. Yeah. It's about how the value. It's all about the value that you give. It's all about what they took away from the experience, and if they felt confident, if they felt like this is something that they would do again, they will always come back. Now, for the folks that even decide to work with other realtors or other representation, there's a reason why they're in our orbit. There's a reason for it. Whether or not we were able to serve them, i.e. fella from Walnut Creek or what have you, these relationships, they're as transparent as they get. Yeah. There's a reason why they say, hey, you know what? I actually appreciate that you did an underwriting on my property. You didn't have to. And I decided to sell my property for another reason. But you can't deny that the numbers are the numbers. There's a reason why you're selling. You wouldn't sell a cash flowing property. That's just being candid about the situation.
Yeah. Okay. So it sounds like we pretty much touched on everybody who's actually done a lease-up contract with us. If we had to talk about all those that do need the services but didn't actually go through with it, we'd probably be here forever. Because there's a lot of people out there that actually did need the services that ended up not going with the services for whatever reason, but are still in the orbit, and we still continue to provide them value. But really today was just about those that we've done contract with in the past few months. And so this is not like the extent of your 12 years of being in business at all, but
dropping a bucket. But ultimately what I'm glad that we did though is just express that these are things that are happening in real time, and that folks that are looking to get into the business and work with property owners to get their property rendered, that this is something that's feasible by way of doing cold calls. And for folks that are looking to buy multifamily, you don't have to do this alone. There are people that do want to help you, serve you, and put you in the best possible position for success by way of underwriting and making sure that you have a great asset that you're going to put an offer on. And there are people that want to be hands off the wheel for their businesses like rental properties, that they can go ahead and focus on other assets or other responsibilities that may be more pressing. And so with this, I'm just glad that you guys found a value that was meaningful in your worldview. And this is the multiple touches that we want to make sure that we're bringing. It's not just a one trick pony over here. We're really focusing on how we can best serve our clients in a evolving environment of a market, whether it's selling, buying, or investing. We want to be your guys' number one choice. And this is the best way we can do it, by being the best in our business, being stewards in our business, and serving you guys.
All right. Well, that was a perfect close with that. We will catch you guys next time.
Adios.